Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video all about some of the best, budge-proof, long-lasting products, especially for, the warmer months coming around the corner, and these are all going to be from the drugstore. I'm really hoping that some of these products can not only help increase the longevity of the products that you're already using, but that some of these can also help fill in the gaps of products that you feel like are just not lasting for you throughout the warmer months. So, we should just get started because I actually do have a lot to talk about per usual. But the first one I want to start off with is the L'Oreal Sublime Bronze Facial Tanning Drops. These are really a great way to get a little bit of extra color on your skin and just kind of give yourself that little bit of sun-kissed warmth. And it's so easy to work into your routine because what these do is essentially turn any facial moisturizer that you're using into a self-tanning moisturizer. All you do is mix a couple drops of these into your moisturizer, preferably at night. I do find it's not an overwhelming fragrance of DHA to this one, but I do find that sometimes if I've tried getting away with it during the daytime, I can smell the DHA. So preferably at night, mix it into your moisturizer, and then you'll get a little bit of warmth, a little bit of color. It'll obviously be a lot longer lasting than something that's just a temporary makeup product. And if you do have fair skin, I don't think you should shy away from these because you can really tweak the formula to get the amount of color that you want from the product exactly. So you want a deeper tan, work in a few more drops. You want just a little bit of color, just a few. So they're really great, easy to work into the routine, and I really do like the formula. In almost every single makeup tutorial that I do, I redundantly stress to you the importance of skincare before you do your makeup. It's really the most important step. It's more important than the primers and the products that you use most of the time because you really do want to get your skin prepped and ready for the day. I mean, especially if you're going to be wearing your makeup the whole entire day, you really want some good products underneath those products, underneath that makeup. So a moisturizer that I have adored for many years, and it is absolutely phenomenal during the warmer months, is from Honest. This is their hydrogel cream. Feels really luxe and thick when you're applying it, but then the more you blend it into the skin, it becomes more fluid and water-like, and it just gets absorbed into your skin so quickly. It goes from this thick, moisturizing cream to then almost serum-like, and it's exceptional. It's not distracting. It is perfect for these warmer months because you get the sensation and long-lasting moisture that you would get from a thick, heavy cream, but it feels really lightweight, like a gel. And I typically am not one to go for gel-formulated moisturizers. They just don't do anything for me. But this is the one that works the absolute best. I'll most likely never be the type of person who recommends a primer for increasing longevity. I feel like there is one type of primer that actually increases longevity, and that is those gripping tacky primers. So think like J1 Jelly Pack, Milk Hydro Grip, and the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. So this is kind of like a juiced up version of the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer. This one's definitely more targeted towards actually increasing the longevity of your makeup. I think that if you are somebody that has pores or you want some blurring action going on with your primer, you'd be surprised at how much this is more of a one and done type of product. When I'm applying this, I think it's really important to put it on your fingertips and literally kind of push and press it into the skin. Spend a couple moments really focusing on working the product into the skin, especially where you're more prone to makeup breaking down and migrating throughout the day. Then once you've gotten it really pressed in, what you want to do is focus on the areas where you have the most visible pores. And what I will do is kind of roll my fingers in this type of motion so that I can really work the product into those areas, and you're going to lightly, feather it out towards the edges of your face. And then you can even go in kind of an upwards diagonal motion just so that you're really getting that product worked into the skin. And you will see that after you spend a little bit of extra time really finagling this product the right way, when you put makeup on top of it, it just glides over your skin, it fills in your pores so that you don't have those craters on the skin that are visible that you sometimes get when you put foundation on. I know you know what I'm talking about. This has the ability to do all the things that you love about those silicone blurring primers, But instead of, you know, just making the makeup slide around your face all day, this is actually gonna make it last a lot longer. So this is absolutely phenomenal. Definitely one worth trying out, especially during the warmer months. I find those silicone ones to just be like straight up distracting. Like, let's talk long wearing foundations. I have 2 different coverage points and 2 different formulas. So I do think that these are both the most budge proof I've found so far. First one being the L'Oreal Pro Glow. I think that this one is definitely more comparable to something like a serum or skin tint type of formula. It's definitely a foundation, don't get me wrong, but it's a very, very lightweight texture. The thing that I like about this one is that if you have a particularly, you know, pretty good skin type and you're looking for more light to medium coverage, this definitely will fit the bill and keep you covered. Although the name is Pro Glow, I think it's a little bit more of a natural satin finish that progressively gets glowier throughout the day. I don't know why I had a hard time saying that. It was like a tongue twister. So it gets glowier the longer you wear it, but upon initial application, it's a little bit more on the satin side, and it still lasts a really long time. Definitely if you're on the oilier side, you might find yourself needing some blotting or powder throughout the day, but it's wonderful, very long lasting, and very lightweight on the skin. Definitely one of those foundations you could potentially forget that you're even wearing. Now the other one is definitely more medium to medium full coverage. It's the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. This one is very moisturizing, kind of like a thick tinted moisturizer. It takes a little bit of practice to get the hang of blending it out. I think the warmth of your fingertips is going to be your best bet because it's going to keep that product nice and emollient and just give it a little bit better of a blend. Perhaps a brush or sponge if you prefer that, but I think fingertips is the best and obviously the easiest and most readily available tool. But this one is really beautiful, and you can actually see this one side by side with the L'Oreal Pro Glow. This one is significantly more dewy. It definitely reflects back a lot more light on the high points of the face. You get a really good amount of natural bounce back, and this is going to give you more of a moisturized, fresh looking skin. I also think that this color is so good. It's got a really good amount of yellow and warmth to it, so it matches my skin really nicely, and I like this a lot. It's a good one. If you've ever used the IT Cosmetics CC Cream, this is definitely a more affordable option to check out if you're not wanting to splurge on the IT Cosmetics one. And I do feel like the e.l.f. one has incredible longevity, withstands the heat. I wore it to Disney World one time and I was still like, oh, I didn't sweat this off after 7 hours in the Orlando sun. I do also have 2 different coverage points of long-wearing concealers just to be a little bit extra helpful, hopefully. So first one being the more medium to full coverage long-wearing concealer. It's the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. Now, this can be sheared out, but full disclosure, I feel like when you shear this concealer out, it doesn't look as good. It's almost like the pigment starts separating and it just doesn't perform the way it's supposed to. It's almost like this concealer is made to be worn a little bit more medium to full. Now, this one is Budge proof, so not necessarily something that I would particularly choose for underneath my eyes. I find it to be a little bit more dry, but it still looks really nice under the eyes. And you can see I didn't do a ton of coverage under the eyes, but it still gives me some coverage. What this is really great for is blemishes, hyperpigmentation, or problematic areas on the skin that you're worried about will be exposed or, you know, just get a little bit more visible throughout the warmer months. This will actually stay put in place. I feel like you don't have to use a powder with it because it does set down rather matte, and you could just powder it throughout the day if you feel like you need a little bit of a touch up, but on its own, it's a great one and done option. And then the other one, which is more geared towards light to medium coverage, is the Revlon Color Stay Skin Awaken Concealer. So this one is definitely more moisturizing and gives you a noticeable amount of really pretty, youthful bounce back under the eye. I wouldn't say that this is particularly like dewy, but it doesn't, you know, it doesn't fall completely flat. So it doesn't look chalky, it doesn't settle into lines, and it's actually really quite moisturizing, which I really like about this concealer. You don't have to set it with powder, but if you do, it still looks really nice. So it's definitely a more comfortable wear for a longer period of time versus the e.l.f. one. but it still has really great longevity, just not as much coverage power. We literally have to talk about this powder because when you see the demo, you are going to freak out. So it's the Revlon Photo Ready Blurring Powder. So this powder is quite a special one because although it is tinted, it's not going to add extra coverage onto the skin, thus making it look, you know, cakey or like you've got too much product on the skin. I literally cannot believe the blurring capabilities of this powder. It quite literally makes your skin look like satin, and you can really build this powder up. I think for this demo, I went in with like 3 or 4 layers just to really show you that despite building this powder up, it does not cake, it does not crumble, it does not migrate into the lines on my face, it does not feel drying. It is just absolutely beautiful, very comparable to some of those prestige brands. I mean, if you are wanting to try a blurring powder and you just don't want to bite the bullet on a more expensive one, this is such a great option to try. Like I said, those pearl pigments in here are really going to give you that good amount of bounce back, and it's going to help your makeup from migrating, shifting, and breaking down throughout the day. So what a wonderful powder for the summertime, because you're not going to look jockey. I'm also going to be like completely honest with you right now. When you wear too much powder, it does not look good. It's noticeable on the skin, it ages the skin, it looks like makeup, it, you know, it takes away from the look. So you really do have to play around with powders and like legit find good ones. That's why I don't really recommend powders very often, but this is a good one. I really want to talk about bronzer and blush. So this is specifically for people who feel like they don't get the longevity that they want out of powder or cream products during the summertime. These are really easy swap outs. So the first one is going to be for the blush, the NYX Sweet Cheeks blush. This is a cream to powder product. The reason I really like this is because this starts off as a liquid. When you apply it to the skin while it's still wet, it dries to your skin. So it's almost like it becomes fused with the other makeup that you're wearing, which is really a great way to boost the longevity because it's not a cream product sitting on top of other things or just a powder that could, you know, wear away a little bit quicker. So I do find specifically because this is liquid, dries down matte powder finish on the skin, it tends to last the longest. You can also use this on eyes and lips as well. My favorite shade is just the nude one. Now the other recommendation I wanted to make was for the most part during the summertime, I feel like powder bronzers tends to last the longest, but if I want something that's going to look a little bit more natural and I feel like cream's not gonna last or it's just not gonna cut it because of the heat, a concealer will, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, like, concealer I feel like lasts a long time as well because it's a liquid product that dries down and sets on the face. If that makes sense, it's just some like bro science I've come up with in my own mind, but I feel like it really does work and it's something that lasts. So the Maybelline Super Stay Concealer in a deeper tone, and instead of doing the like stripe directly onto the skin, just pick it up on your brush like you normally would and then apply it like you would apply a powder bronzer. It makes it a little bit more intuitive. Then you're not struggling to like blend direct color deposits that you've placed onto the skin, and because it's applied wet and dries down, I find it lasts longer. So definitely worth trying, especially if you find your bronzer and blush are not lasting as long as you'd like. I feel like I've recommended this countless times, but it's really that good. I really notice a significant difference in my makeup's longevity when I use this. It's the Revolution Super Fix. Disregard the matte claim on this bottle because it doesn't interfere with whatever makeup you're wearing. If you are wearing a dewy foundation, this will not turn it matte. And if you're wearing a matte foundation, it won't turn it dewy. It just sets down the base. And this is really nice too because even if you have, let's say like you've over powdered, even though this says that it's matte, it doesn't make the skin any more matte. In this setting spray, there is aloe juice and glycerin. Those are both really amazing ingredients for giving the skin a skin-like finish. So taking away from an overly powdered looking base, this product still has the ability to do it even though it says it's going to give you a matte finish. So don't be afraid of it, and it really does make your makeup last that much longer. Let's talk eye products. I'm going to recommend the LA Girl Ultimate Eye Pencils. Phenomenal, really long lasting, intense pigmented cream eyeliners that are easy to blend or build up intensity, and they withstand the hours of wear in the tight and the waterline as well. So they're absolutely beautiful eyeliners. And then for eyeshadows, I really don't think you can beat the staying power of the Revlon Color Stay, or, you know, Maybelline makes some of these as well. They're quite a common formula that you can find at the drugstore, but if you can get a couple different shades of a cream eyeliner, they're just easier. Just get one, just try it. I think you will really love it. You can apply it with your finger, and it's just so much easier for day-to-day life, and they last. So they're great. Get yourself a cream eyeshadow. I think you'll actually be really happy with it. A really great brow gel option is the e.l.f. Brow Lift. The marker for this was definitely the Anastasia Brow Freeze. It doesn't have as intense of a hold as the Anastasia Brow Freeze. I feel like this is a little bit more of a diluted formula as compared to the Anastasia one, but still really great. You still have the option to do a feather brow, a fluffy brow, a shellacked brow, or just, you know, pin your brow hairs in place for the day. So it's really nice, it's clear, and when you use a brow gel like this that you're actually, you know, more so kind of pressing to the skin, it's gonna make the underlying brow product last longer. So if you're wearing a brow powder or a pencil that's not particularly long lasting, using something like this will help keep the brow pigment in place all day, or you can wear it on its own, obviously. You also really do need a waterproof mascara. I don't have one in particular that I'm like, this is, you know, the one that you need. I love, you know, Maybelline Stiletto. I love L'Oreal Voluminous. I love drugstore waterproof mascaras. I'm just recommending Falsies Lash Lift specifically because this is a curling mascara, and the reason that these like lifting waterproof mascaras are so great throughout the warmer months specifically are because curling mascaras have almost like these tightening agents in them. So they do manipulate the lashes slightly so that they're like springing up, kind of like a tightening effect on the lashes, so they go upward. So the thing about that is during the warmer months, you're going to have less eyelash drooping throughout the day. And honestly, one waterproof mascara is also really helpful because you can put it on top of any mascara that you're using and just use it as like the final coat to kind of seal your favorite mascara in, whether it's like Tom Ford or I don't know, Pat McGrath or something like that. You can take a cheaper waterproof mascara as the last coat, and it's gonna seal in your nice mascara, and it's just, yeah, it's really nice. I personally do recommend a waterproof mascara for the warmer months, especially for the lower lashes. You need like one. Now we're gonna talk lip products that are actually long lasting. First one being the LA Girl lip pencils. The LA Girl lip pencils are really great because these are drink proof, eat proof, they last longer. You can just wear a little bit of lip liner with some lip balm and it's gonna last significantly longer than a regular lip pencil. What, you guys know how much I love my NYX Nude Truffle, but it's not the longest lasting. It's a lip pencil I have to touch up a lot, so definitely would recommend the LA Girl ones. I love the Shockwave line. They have some really great nudes. And then I also wanted to recommend these glosses from L'Oreal, the Infallible Plump glosses. They're a little bit stickier and tackier than a regular gloss, and they also have something in them that makes them set down a little bit, so they're not quite as fluid and they don't move around quite as much as a regular gloss does. Thus, some of the shades are not particularly as shiny as a regular lip gloss, but they last a lot longer. This lip product is seriously, like, if you need an industrial strength lip product, then look no further. So it's the NYX Shine Loud lip products. The way that these work are, you have the color in this part of the component on one end, and then on the other side of the component, you have just a clear, ultra shiny liquid gloss. So you can apply the color, either full on or blot it to the lips. The amount of the product of the color that you're actually wearing does not matter. You can wear a literal dot on your lips and it will stay there for hours to come. And I'm gonna be quite honest, if you wear these, you know, full on, it just doesn't look very modern. I feel like the, you know, blotted lip tint look is really what's in right now, and you can still get that effect from this by just dotting on the lips and then smudging it around with your fingertip. It looks a little bit more fresh, a little bit more daytime friendly rather than like a full-on opaque lip color. And then you put the gloss on top. I even wanted to show you, like, I can rub my lips with my fingertips and the gloss will come off, and then you can see on my fingertips there's literally no color on the gloss. It is just the clear gloss coming off. And I honestly thought that when the gloss was put on top of the color, it would, you know, become one product. It'd be a little bit easier to come off throughout the day. That's not the case. This lasts all day, literally. Like, the only way it would come off is if you're eating a cheeseburger or something oily, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you have to take this off with a cleansing balm or a biphase makeup remover, because this is the real deal. This will last you all day, literally all day. I really hope that you found this informative and helpful. So if you have any questions, maybe I didn't touch on something specifically in this video that you have regarding one of these products, you can always leave it in the comments down below. I'll do my best to get back to you. I will list and link everything in the description box down below as well. And I did really want to do skin swatches for this video. I try to do that as much as I can. As many of you know, I have eczema on my skin, so when I do skin swatches, it's like a lot of agitation on my skin, and I get a lot of like peeling and, you know, agitated like red bits and bobs. So if I'm not doing skin swatches, I try to do on the back of the hand. But I'd be curious to know if you find that the skin swatches are more helpful than the back of the hand, because I can definitely try to do those more frequently when it's not like an overloaded amount of product. But if it's a lot of base products, it's really difficult for me to do all of them swatched on the skin back to back. But if it's helpful, please let me know. I'd love to know your thoughts. Come follow me on Instagram and TikTok too. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let me know any other video requests that you have for the near future. Thank you so much for watching this one. I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.